Welcome to Rather Be Rotting, where two sisters who should really be doing something more productive dissect all things reality, TV, and pop culture chaos because no matter what's going on in life, we would always rather be rotting. Hello.
Hi, Lil.
How's it going?
You know, it's going. I got an accidental haircut that makes me look kind of like a surfer dude.
I don't think that at all. I think it looks cute.
Gee, thanks.
You had a lot of dead ends that had to go.
Apparently, half of my hair was dead ends, according
Well,
to the woman who chopped it off.
When was the last time you had gotten a haircut?
There'd be no way of knowing.
Well, then I guess I'm not surprised.
What's new with you? Anything?
You know, I do just want to say, because I have recently been having a lot of feelings. June is Infertility Awareness Month. So I want to shout out all the girls who are also struggling with infertility. I just have a lot of emotions these days about it, I guess. I don't know. It's very all-consuming.
It's such a serious topic, but the way you set it up with, I just have a lot of feelings. Like, why'd you have to quote Mean Girls to make me start giggling?
Why not?
Just to make me look like an asshole when you're talking about a serious topic.
Yeah, I saw you laughing at me and I was like, well, that's awfully rude.
You didn't know it was because you quoted Mean Girls?
No, well, thought you could roll with it.
There you have it.
Anyway, that's what I've been dealing with lately. It's been a little all-consuming these days, so.
I'm sorry, Lil. I think there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel sooner than later.
I really hope so. I think I just, I resonate with the girls who, if you know, like going to the doctor every other day or every day to have more blood taken or another thing shoved up your vagina to see what's going on, just like over and over and over, and trying to plan your life around your ovaries is stressful and taxing. And yeah.
Like your body's a science experiment.
Yeah. And you're kind of a slave to whatever has to happen to accomplish this goal. Like if your partner is out of town for work or something at the wrong time, the whole month and everything that you've done for that month is shot. It's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of stress. And we're not even yet at the phase where we're having to move on to IVF yet. And I don't want to get there, but I just have a lot of empathy and sympathy for, any woman.
We're sending love and positive vibes to any woman going through that. I believe we are on the right track now.
Yep.
And things are going to start looking up.
Fingers crossed. And otherwise, like in pop culture, personally, I feel like it's been a little quiet this week, but you could tell me if I'm wrong.
Something just broke that we're recording a little bit early, so this won't have just happened. But the Walton Goggins, Aimee Lou Wood feud.
Yes.
Did you see they gave a joint interview?
No.
So that was kind of something that I was like a little bit obsessed with.
What did they say?
So they gave the interview to Variety, and he says there's no feud. He loves her madly, and that he was like getting emotional, and they were like holding hands and hugging and whatnot. And he said that unfollowing her was his way of processing like what they went to. Like he needed to process saying goodbye to Rick and Chelsea because he loves them more than anything. So I guess that's just what he does when he finishes a project. He said he did that on past projects. So I guess he's going to have to cut things off with Danny McBride because Righteous Gemstones is over too. I hope that, they don't have to do a tearful interview, but I guess he told her ahead of time, I'm going to do this. And she was very supportive. He said before this interview, he hadn't talked to anyone from the cast. And that tracks because they were like out at a premiere viewing event, maybe for the finale, and he wasn't there. And everyone thought that was because of the feud, but it could just be because of his process. And then as for that New York Times interview that he stormed out of, and he said like, F this, because they asked about her. He says that they asked about her like 3 different times, and he didn't want to speak for her. And then I guess that reporter even asked him, like, did you guys bond over your teeth? Which he thought was like really offensive, and I agree.
Yeah.
That, I guess we can, put a button on that, close the loop.
Do you think that it's all true, or do you think they hooked up?
I think that, I have no reason not to believe what he's saying. He has a wife.
I
And
know, but that's why
I
it's
know,
so
but Amy Lou
scandalous.
Wood like seems like a really great girl. Like I don't think she would cheat, but you have to get into character, and his character was dark and tortured and in love with Chelsea. So of course they had to like do things to bond, and they had a special connection.
Maybe I just don't understand the acting process.
And we never will.
Yeah.
So we
Well,
have to
I mean,
understand that we do not understand.
what else is going on in the world this week?
Let's see, I watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, half the episodes.
Okay, so what was happening? Where did you leave off?
So Taylor and Dakota decided to separate, which is good. My main question is why don't any of these women use protection?
Yeah, really, speaking of infertility, that's a bunch who doesn't suffer with it. Actually, later on in the season, there is some stuff that goes down surrounding one of them who can't get pregnant, and they
Macy.
play, yeah, no, Demi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they play, you'll get there, but they play pregnancy roulette. Have you seen that?
No.
So basically, pregnancy roulette is when you're with a group of girls and everybody takes a pregnancy test, and then you put them all in a cup and mix them all around, and then you pull them out and see like how many are positive, and you don't know whose is whose.
Why would they be positive? Like, why would they just randomly be positive?
Well,
That's
they
like
don't know.
clearly a setup.
Yes, because I mean, do you want me to spoil it for you?
Well, I know Jen is pregnant.
She's not involved in this.
Okay, well then let's table that.
Okay. Well, it's kind of a cruel thing that I feel like production shouldn't have let happen, but we'll get there when
Well,
you get there.
something else I think is kind of cruel is how they're treating Jen right now. I mean, she's obviously going through it with her marriage. Can't they just leave the poor girl alone?
She's also like 25 or 26. The rest of these women are well in their 30s. She's so young.
I thought that, what about Layla? Layla looks like she's 21.
She might be in her 20s also, but then they're the two youngest. Everybody else is into their 30s.
Taylor Frankie Paul.
Yes, I think she's 32.
That
Yeah.
is stunning. I assumed all these girls were 22.
Nope.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and she's just going through such adult things and horrible things. I mean, I don't know why she couldn't use birth control. That's again, you know.
You have any other thoughts?
Yes, so not Jen, Taylor, I cannot believe her parents straight up called her a hoe.
Her dad is horrible. Horrible. Well, stepdad, but
Horrible.
horrible.
And mom.
To slut shame that way is so misogynistic. Like, I wanted to reach through the screen and smack them both.
That poor girl, and she's like thinks she has issues to work on, and I hope she doesn't think that like she's a slut.
No, the issue is them. The issue is the people that raised her.
Yes. And if they want to take a crack at anything, again,
He could have worn a condom.
exactly. Like if we're gonna shame anyone for anything, it's the birth control, not that she had sex with him after knowing
Yeah.
him for a day or whatever the situation was. Like,
It's a
oh
woman's right. It's a woman's right. And obviously, they're not blaming him for the fact that he was like doing it with another girl at the same time.
no, but
Like,
also
somehow she brought it upon herself.
no, but also they weren't like exclusive.
I know.
Either way, those parents, I hope they're getting a lot of backlash.
I think they are.
Good.
But back to your
Um,
point about Jen, I do feel bad for her the way they're treating her, but she got herself into this situation because I feel like this is the problem when you go vent to your friends in the heat of the moment about your marriage, and they'll remember that, but you won't. And then when it comes time to defend your partner, they're going to be like, wait a minute, I thought we hated him. What are you talking about? And she also has lied. She's put her husband in this position where he goes to have whatever soda with Demi and Jesse and like I guess apologize just to find out that she was saying all kinds of stuff that wasn't true about him, and they don't know why she would do that on national TV and think he wasn't going to see it. Like the gambling his money away for medical school. He said that wasn't true. Why would she say that? That's weird.
it probably is true, Lil. But then she's
Then
going back
why?
because she doesn't want him in private to tear her a new one. He's obviously like verbally abusive and controlling and terrible. So she's like lying to cover her ass.
I
She said
guess.
too much, just like you said. She said too much on camera and now she has to backpedal.
I guess so. And it's just like, I thought the Ben Affleck of it all was funny. Like,
That is funny.
I can imagine being at the family Thanksgiving and the family being like, "Oh yeah, huh, we're related to the Afflecks, hilarious," and her being like, "They said it. It's true."
She said it to the media for sure.
Yeah. So I think she's just also naive.
Yeah, she's young and like they just need to cut her some slack. I have thoughts about Layla getting so specific about her sex life with a pastor's son or something, talking about like how she wants him to give her an orgasm. I could
Oh,
not
because she
believe.
never had one.
I know, but it's like his parents are gonna watch this, your parents are gonna watch this. Like, that's horrifying.
Like, yeah, it is horrifying, but like for our reality TV stars, this is the level of transparency we require of them.
That's
So I
true, so
think
we should applaud her.
we should applaud her, which I do. And I also think if you're the person in this circumstance, just tell your parents to skip that episode.
Yeah, that's smart. You're right. Or like if you're like an actress and you have to get naked.
Yeah, just skip from this minute to this minute, skip it.
Arnold Schwarzenegger certainly didn't skip the White Lotus because he straight up told Patrick that he saw his weenie, an exact
Ew.
quote.
His weenie.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
I saw your weenie.
And I think
Patrick.
I think he enjoyed it because he's like, because I guess Arnold got naked for something, and he's like, oh, he's following in my footsteps a little too closely. Ha ha ha.
He's following in my footsteps. How's this accent?
It is something. Oh, one more thought about Mormon wives is that Whitney named her kid Baby Billy.
Oh my God. Every time she says Billy, I'm like, that's not a name for a baby.
She called him Baby Billy.
They don't watch Righteous Gemstones. They'd be so offended by it.
Oh my God, I was dying. She was like, but you're gonna come to the shower for Baby Billy, right? Like,
Did you
to
see the
celebrate
shower?
Baby Billy? Not yet.
Okay.
But
It's
I
it's
I
eventful.
died, and that's twice Righteous Gemstones. Walton Goggins has been referenced.
He's infiltrating your week in a big way.
He infiltrated a lot of my weeks in the White Lotus peak
Yeah.
because, there was like the big internet discourse over is this guy hot or not?
Well, what do you think?
I'm gonna vote overall no. Maybe like 1 time out of 10, I think he is a little.
So I saw an AI generated image of him with a lower hairline.
And
Much better.
but the teeth.
I've never once noticed his teeth.
They're all I look at in both shows.
What's wrong with his teeth?
They're massive. They're huge. They're like when he's talking, it's like all you can see.
Maybe I don't notice because his forehead is so big that it's like my eyes and brain can't focus on one massive or two massive things.
Dude, I don't know. It was way more distracting than the forehead for me, honestly.
It hasn't bothered me at all.
Wow. Well, that's okay that we're bothered by different things.
Yeah,
You want to move on to the Bravo verse?
I do.
Tell me your thought right off the top.
So the Valley cast, some of them, were featured prominently at a local watering hole that we have frequented many times.
We love.
Our favorite bar, Thirsty Merchant,
Whoop,
in
whoop.
is it technically in North Hollywood or is it
Valley
technically in
Village, I
Studio
believe.
City? Valley Village. Yeah, shout out to Thirsty Merchant. If you want a big pretzel, some really good truffle mac and cheese, if you want to play some cornhole,
A great happy
play
hour 2 for 1.
beer chalices,
Chalices of beer.
bring some Uno, have a good time.
Good vibes.
We love it. To see them there at one of our favorite spots was truly a thrill.
It was heartwarming, and I hope to see them there again in real life sometime soon.
That's the fun thing about watching the Valley is like last week we didn't touch on this, but they were at Heavy Handed getting burgers. They didn't get any ice cream though. Heavy Handed is like burgers and they have soft serve, the most delicious soft serve
I do
ever.
believe it's a chain.
Oh, well, there's one in studio. It was very clear they were at the one in Studio City.
Very clear.
That
There
we've
are a
also
lot of
frequented.
spots there.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to see them in all our local places. I don't know why we've never happened upon them while they're filming, but maybe in the future we can remedy that.
I've happened upon some of them not filming, as
Well,
have
who
you.
amongst? Who amongst?
Beverly Hills is the same way. I like to watch it because I recognize a lot of the spots. And if sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's a new restaurant I should try.
Yeah, we've been known to rewind and write it down so we can add it to our list of places to go to.
That was the most exciting thing that I saw was our special bar. The second most exciting thing I saw was Sheena and Brock's new home.
Yes, and them coming to the beach saying, "We don't live here anymore, so it took us forever to get here." And I had
That was
flashbacks to
so
Sheena
funny.
Shea being complaining that nobody would come to Marina Del Rey to see her.
That was awesome. And they bought a house in Sherman Oaks that looks just like all the other ones.
Sure does.
I mean, I would
Sure
take
does.
it. I would take it.
Sheena, for some reason, like I love her, but she's just coming across like a little desperate for me.
She is, and she like threw a bunch of shade on her husband for having a small dick.
She sure did.
That was
That
so
woman,
awkward.
that woman, that's what I'm saying. Like, she will do and say anything to stay on the show. Like, she's just trying to say things to grab attention so that they'll keep bringing her back, I feel.
It's working for me. I just feel like
Shock
that's how
value.
she is, though. I think she just doesn't think about it until she sees it after, and she's like, oh,
And this is why she should host Love Hotel.
she should. I love that for her. I have a question. So I'm losing some of the threads in these fights, but like there was one fight over someone named Jared. Who is that gentleman?
I can't recall. Do you have context as to how Jared was involved in a fight?
Something about they were just fighting over like who needs to apologize to who, and you Jared took your side and my side, and I'm like,
I'm assuming he's just an off-camera friend, an off-camera entity that we haven't
perhaps.
seen.
But like, can we leave him out of it? Because I'm having enough trouble following.
I'm losing the thread too a little bit, especially with Janet being mad at Kristen, because as they showed in the flashback, Luke and Kristen sat there and brought this information to Jason directly. So why is she holding a grudge against Kristen?
And why is Jasmine so mad at Janet
Because Janet's calling her a bad friend for spreading the lies about Jason
about
not wearing his
Jason?
wedding ring.
Got
Yeah.
it. Well, then Janet has a right to be mad about that, does she not?
She
She
does.
could laugh it off like a normal person, but this is reality TV.
What I thought was interesting is in one of the confessionals, Brittany said, "I don't see Janet as like a pot stirrer that everybody thinks she is." And I'm like, literally how?
Yeah, because she could have laughed that off.
All she does is try to create drama, and somebody handed her some on a silver platter, so she's going to dig her heels in as far as they can go.
But it was interesting, and I liked seeing Jason activated. I've never seen him like that
That was
before.
interesting. That was an
Earn
interesting
that
Luke.
paycheck, bruh.
Another shocking. Every time I see Brittany's mom, I'm never not stunned to see her in her new form.
Why?
Don't you recall from Vanderpump? The woman's eating Ozempic like candy. I know that's not how it's injected, but
I don't know. I feel like that's been like a gradual thing over the
she
years.
is she is a shell of her former self
All she's left is just some long black hair and bangs.
and some big veneers. Yeah,
Well, she's been LAified, Hollywoodified.
it's just never not shocking when she appears on the screen. I'm always like, oh,
Well, something that shocked me was seeing the flashback to Britney's face last year. I forgot how bad her mouth was downturned because of her botched neck lift.
it was so bad. She also still hasn't. Whoever's injecting her Botox needs to calm down on the brows.
Oh my God, they're halfway up her forehead, but they have been for years.
You can
How
fix
has
that.
Why hasn't
I
anyone
know you
told
can.
her?
I don't know because I got Dysport for the first time on
Hmm.
Monday. Normally I get
Oh
Botox,
yeah.
but it wears off. My Botox wears off in like a month. Like it goes away so
Yes.
fast, even when I say freeze me to high heaven. So when I went to get Dysport, I told them I want to be frozen solid, but also I don't want my eyebrows to be like Whitney from Salt Lake City, just traveling further and further towards my hairline on the
Hmm.
ends.
Hmm.
And they said, if you feel lifted on the end, come right back and we'll fix it. We can't lift them once they've drooped, but if they're too high, we can lower them. So it leads me to wonder why Brittany isn't taking advantage of that.
I don't think she knows how bad they look, even though it's like you see yourself on TV. I think someone should tell her, and I would like it. This is a PSA right now for anyone listening. If you know me in person and my Botox looks horrible, please tell me.
Same.
I've been there before. Luckily, I recognized it all myself.
You got discount Botox.
I
Was it a
did.
Groupon?
Actually, the discount Botox wasn't the problem. It was a very reputable injector, but I'm not going to name names here.
No, we won't name names here for that specifically, only for good shout outs, but So what is it that happened when you got? Because I thought it was that you got a Groupon or something and they did a terrible job.
She
What was the
just did
problem?
too much. So she did my eyebrows too much. She did I think my eyes, like my crow's feet. If you do too much on the crow's feet, it kind of messes with your smile. And then to top it all off, I got gummy smile Botox, which lowers your bottom lip.
She's making a lot of mouth motions.
And it lowered it too much to where I couldn't even smile. I could not smile. And in the picture that is the infamous picture of this incident, or the only proof of we have like of what happened,
My favorite
um,
picture.
I was squinting because the sun was in my eyes also. So it was just like the perfect storm of a terrifying face,
Leading to the perfect picture.
a Disney villain.
Yeah, it was great. But luckily it wears off.
Jax also, partakes in the talks.
Oh, yes.
But he didn't have any in rehab. But he did have access to all of his cameras in his house, apparently.
Do you think he really like bugged them and could hear her? Or do you think he could just see that the cameras were there and assumed she was talking about him?
How do you think he could see the cameras were there?
Well, she said they have cameras, but there's no sound unless he bugged them.
But she covered the cameras anyway. Do you think that he saw something and took a wild guess that they were talking about him?
Probably, but like, what are the odds that he would be correct?
Maybe the camera does have sound and she just doesn't know it.
She's not the brightest bulb. With
Yeah.
love, respectfully.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think his chat with who called him? Jason?
Yeah.
Was it sincere?
No, because then he went right back around and was shitting on Brittany.
He's
He's
just
still
like
a
a
monster. Like
he
he's
needs to
not
not be
done.
on Bravo. He needs to not be on Bravo. The way I felt when the season started is the way I still feel. Bravo shouldn't be showing this. They shouldn't be giving him any airtime. It's not good for anyone involved. He
Because the
needs to
only
go.
reason he went to rehab was because he was afraid he would lose his spot on the show.
100%.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't count if you go and you don't fix
Change.
yourself.
Yeah, I just have an icky feeling about him being there in general. I don't think it was the right move. And I don't think we need him.
No comment.
Okay.
I will say it is shocking how he seemed like such a changed man on the phone with Jason. And then who knows how much later, maybe one day, he was a terror again. Like,
This is like truly what a psychopath does, though.
yeah,
So,
he's not done. He's not done on his journey. And that's probably why Brittany in the media has been saying, I don't believe him. I don't believe him.
yeah, it's addict behavior. It appears as addict behavior where you can't tell if anything they're saying is true ever.
Well, he's open about his cocaine addiction, but I don't know if that's still the problem or if it's like his bipolar disorder
Any number
that
of things.
causes him to go from one love extreme to the next.
We're not doctors, we're speculating.
No, absolutely not. Thank you for
But
that.
I think it's whatever it is, sociopathy, psychopathology. I don't know, whatever he is.
He's not well.
He's unwell.
That's all I had for the Valley. Did you have any more thoughts?
No,
What about
better episode.
Atlanta?
Atlanta was great.
Phaedra's in the title card now.
I'm so happy to have her.
Me too. Oh my gosh, she just brings like this airiness.
Did you catch what she said about Angela? The
Uh,
oldest looking young woman I've ever met.
yes, and then she said hopefully her personality is more youthful than her face. I
This is why I
died.
love
I was
Phaedra.
dead. But then I did Google how old Angela is.
I was just about to.
She's 43 allegedly, but there are like it's inconsistent reports, and I don't think she looks 43, but that would track with what Phaedra said about her being the oldest looking young person.
I just thought that was so funny. Like she's back at it again with
Didn't
her
take
quips.
long.
Yeah, I
And then
love
she
her.
like didn't even care that she was rooming with someone she never met on the trip. She's like, I love a stranger.
I love a stranger. I would love to room with Phaedra. Put me in a room with Phaedra, please.
Or Shamia, because Shamia was in great spirits, even though her bag was still in Atlanta, which if I'm on a trip to Grenada and I don't have my suitcase, I mean, I know I would be a bitch. I know so many people who would be bitches about that.
I feel if that had happened to Portia or Britt or maybe even Cynthia, it would have been a way bigger deal. But like Shamia,
Or Drew.
Kelly, or Drew, but like I feel like Shamia and Kelly would have been like, whatever.
She's
But
just like,
everybody else.
she's like, I'm not gonna have this ruin my time. I'm gonna have fun, but I can't get the crotch too dirty because I don't know when I'm gonna get another pair.
She's so funny.
Oh my God, her spirits were so high. She's an inspiration to all of us. Like if our suitcases ever get lost.
Just be a Shamia. I liked, well, I didn't, I found interesting this scene where Portia and Drew went to tea. And just like my biggest takeaway from that was Drew just making such a fuss about needing the right tea for her vocal cords because of all the singing she'd been doing. I just was like, my eyes can't roll any further back into my head right now.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I saw that part.
You didn't miss anything other than her making a big fuss to the waitress about how she needs this tea because she needed the ginger. They didn't have it, but she was like, "Oh, I needed that ginger for my vocal cords because, I've just been using them so much singing
She
my
needs to
soon to
protect those
be."
those vocal cords. They're gonna pay for Pilar's college.
Yep.
But their trip seems like it's getting off to a great start.
Yeah, I liked Portia's attitude. She's like, basically, I'm in Grenada. I can have a good time with whoever because of
Yeah.
where we are. I like
Yeah.
that. I also loved that Britt barely donated anything, and I know she's about to get so much shade for it, and
Yes,
that
because
I'm
they
looking
showed it
forward
in the
to.
preview. I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
so excited. It's
she
gonna be
barely filled that box. I could have filled more in that box.
seriously. Well, it's like I know these housewives, they don't always have a lot of money. Lisa Rinna said that they have to pay for all the events they throw themselves and all their outfits.
Then I don't want them as a housewife. That's not what I'm here for. No more broke bitches. Like I love Gina from Orange County, and she's like the only exception because she's grown on me after all this time. But I don't know casitas, please.
Well, I like having a range because I feel like I love to see Shamia's, fabulous house, but having Britt like say like not everyone invited to my party gets a full meal. Like that's funny. That's good TV.
What did Shami say? I do remember that I left your event hungry.
Yes. Oh my God, it was such a good episode.
It was really good. Any other thoughts on Atlanta?
Nope. I think we can move on to the Love Hotel. I mean, if there's anything even worth talking about, which like
It's my
not
heavy
really.
sigh. Yeah, I'm over that show. It just felt so fake too, bringing in their friends. Like, really, nobody else but Cynthia Bailey could come in for Luann.
I mean, yeah, that was crazy. Like bring in Sonia. Sonia.
Yeah, like that just felt weird. Where's Victoria? She didn't want to participate?
Of course she didn't want to
Or
participate.
Noelle? Is he still busy breakdancing?
Well, you know what's funny is she said this episode that she always wanted another child, a third child, and I was like, really? You wanted to not parent three kids?
Correct, she did. Hmm.
I mean, I guess if you're not parenting, who's counting? Well, I can tell you, one thing I noticed was that you were right. The guy, the singer with the big dick, is a serial killer.
Told you. I told you.
He was scary.
Yes. And the way he was hanging all over Cynthia, I was like, gross.
Well, Luann thought it was gross too.
She should have like sent him home right then.
I would send him home after he said he loved her. Joel Kim Booster needs to step in, do something.
Sheena would step in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She would say, this is not okay. The way that you are hanging on her is not okay. And the way that you are saying you love her is actually a little alarming.
That was a pretty good impression.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I don't have her voice, but I at least have her like her tone,
That was pretty good. Yeah, I
her
liked it.
cadence.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I noticed was that I'm definitely Team Earl now because I noticed that he was dancing on the boat and Shannon was like bitching at him for having his shirt unbuttoned on a
Yeah.
boat in the water.
That was weird. That was weird.
There is something jammed so far up that lady's ass. Like, what can we do to help this poor woman? She's the most uptight woman I've ever seen.
100%. I was like, do you expect him to keep his shirt on when he jumps in the water?
I could not believe.
It was very
Like,
weird.
are you just fishing for stuff?
I don't know. I clocked that too.
But that's about all I clocked. What about you?
Yeah, the episode was uneventful. I'm sick of the show. I hope we're almost done.
Over in the 90-day universe, though, shit is getting real.
I want to start with the throuple because we forgot about them last week.
We
Blanket
didn't.
apology. They were in
I'm
the
sorry.
episode. We did not cover them.
Because they were not worth covering. We
Well,
subconsciously decided.
Brenda last episode opened up about her abusive husband and we ignored it.
Our
So that's
apologies to Brenda slash Ani.
sorry, so sorry. It feels so fake to me because if this very conservative religious auntie is as described, to come around and just accept it so randomly, so quickly, I'm like, what are we doing here?
It was so anticlimactic. I could not believe.
I'm just sick of them.
Me too. I'm sick of their shit.
Yeah. And I also think it's funny to me how on the next episode it looks like they're going to let her choose who to marry because, like, they have to get divorced so she can marry one of them. And if I were her, like, I was also talking to a coworker about this today. I don't think that Matt really even wants to be involved in this at
No.
all. I think he just, like, doesn't want to not be with Amini anymore. So he's just going along with it. But really, it's just like these two chicks in a relationship and he's there.
Yeah, I think she's definitely gonna pick to marry her, and then they'll just squeeze him out of the
She's also
equation.
the one who makes the money. So
Why? What does he do?
I don't think anything. But in the beginning of the season, they talked about how she's in tech sales or something and makes all
That's
kinds of
right.
money.
Yeah. And they send it to Ray,
Yeah.
that troll. Did you know that once I asked mom how she would feel if I were suddenly deciding to join a throuple?
Did this come from watching an episode of Say Yes to the Dress?
It did.
What'd she say?
I watched a Say Yes to the Dress episode with a throuple, so it just inspired me to see if, mom would be open-minded. And she said, first she said it depends on the person, or I guess she meant people. And then she said, if you're happy, I'm happy, but it's not for me, which I think is fair.
Totally.
Pretty like generic reaction.
I can see mom being supportive and I can see dad being supportive, but never not making jokes about it.
Well, he can't control himself.
Yeah.
That's all I got for them. Sorry that we didn't cover them, and I'm sorry that we're not really covering them now.
That's just all the energy we have for those three.
But who do you want to move on to next? I thought there was so much going on. Do you want to talk about Shekinah and Sarper real quick because they didn't really have much?
Yeah, I also thought that that was ridiculous. He basically just ran away because he feels overwhelmed. What I did think was funny is when he called his family to tell them what was going on and was spelling out
Me too.
the weight clause that he wanted to put in the prenup. They just laughed at him like, "Oh, clever, creative Sarper." Like they know
Yeah.
this man and
They
know
were like,
he's.
that's amazing creativity.
I can imagine throughout his whole life, he's probably had crazy ass ideas and thoughts like this, and never any of them come to fruition. So they've along the way just always been like, "They're creative Sarper. Look at you."
Is that the vibe you got? I got the vibe that they actually thought it was a great idea.
Not at all. I got the vibe that it was like, "Oh shucks, crazy Sarper, you and your weight clause."
They didn't give me much, but they did give me a great idea for you.
Oh, I'm already married.
Yeah, put an air tag on that bitch.
Oh.
That man, you can't track him because he doesn't have an iPhone. He disappears more than anyone I know. I feel like we spend half our lives searching for that man.
We do.
And a lot of time would be spared and spent more usefully watching more shows if we put an air tag on him.
I could do a lot more rotting if I had air tagged him.
Just on his keys, just like Shekinah. She's onto something.
Yeah, but he's not as dumb as Sarper. He'd noticed that I put an air tag there, unfortunately. Maybe if I snuck one in his wallet or in the car, but when he's drinking, he's not in the car.
Exactly.
So,
And that's when he goes missing the most.
yeah, because his favorite thing to say is that he enjoys the drinks when they start tasting like running away from his friends. And then that's what he does. That was pretty much it for. I mean, they're obviously going to get married. They got tattoos on their necks. Like, who are we kidding?
He still lives here,
He's
yeah.
still
So
in LA.
that
You
one's
know,
kind of just like a non. It's like
the jig is
whatever.
up.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly touch on Juan and Jessica. I think that I have two feelings. One, I think he's very valid for wanting her to learn Spanish and his son to learn
Mhm.
Spanish. I agree. I also think she's very valid in that she's been single parenting 3 kids.
I agree. And time goes so fast. Life just gets in the way. We all have goals that we want to achieve that we just are going to get to tomorrow, you know?
Yeah. And for him to put this ultimatum on it, like, what do you want her to do? Learn it tonight? Like,
Well, I think that he just wants her to say in earnest and swear on David's life or something that she's gonna
So
learn.
if I was Jessica, I would just download Duolingo, show him I have the app, and move along with my life.
No, because then she's still not gonna know it. I would tell him, it's very hard to learn a language as an adult, but I want to try for you. And I'm gonna try my best. And maybe I'll devote half an hour to Duolingo a day or something. I don't know, like a compromise.
She's gonna try her best.
She's gonna try her best. And I think that what she could do is at least learn more about his culture. I think he had a very valid
Totally.
argument there. She doesn't know anything and she doesn't care to. And he
Totally.
makes a great point that he doesn't want to raise his son not knowing about his culture.
100% agreed.
So if anything, like that is an argument. And also I thought, is there an immersion program they can put the child in so he can learn Spanish better?
Totally. And now that Juan is there, he should be, what do I know? I'm not bilingual, but he should be speaking exclusively to that kid in Spanish.
Well, I'm sure he will, but then she's not going to know what he's talking to him about.
That doesn't matter. I've seen this with friends I have that are bilingual. Like I have one couple friend who has a kid and the mom speaks to her only in Spanish and the dad speaks in English, and that way it's just second nature to them.
Yeah, their brains are like forming, they can learn better.
Mm-hmm.
So I see both sides of that for
Yeah,
sure.
me too. But it doesn't
But
need to be so harsh ultimatums. Like that's unnecessary.
and
I
we
think
also
he's just
know,
freaking out.
yeah,
Sean and Aaliyah. I'm sorry. There is literally no excuse for Aaliyah to be that late. What was it, like 2 hours?
it was, I think, an hour and a half.
Everyone was sitting in the 104-degree Sonoma sun.
The level of chaos. I mean, I was having a physical reaction. Like I felt like my chest was getting tight from frustration and anger on Sean's behalf.
I just like, and the other thing that really bothers me is that she's joking about it while she's getting ready. She knows it takes her so long to get ready. Why didn't you start at 5 a.m.?
She said that she was not today. This today, I'm leaving myself plenty of time. So what happened?
What happened? And whoever that friend was not helping. And why
That
wasn't that friend
cackling
that,
crazy girl,
yeah, yeah, that
cackling witch.
I was
She's
just
like,
gonna
ha ha
say
ha.
cackling
You
witch.
you don't have that much time. Ha 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 ha.
Why wasn't that friend texting Sean updates?
Why wasn't that friend saying, "What can I do to help you and move this along?" That was outrageous. And
That
that
friend
dog, it was too hot for that dog to be outside.
that friend wants to sabotage that wedding.
That friend is deranged because when Aaliyah finally did show up and Sean was clearly, understandably super mad, she's like, nice suit, nice sparkly suit. And he was like, great, you can, no, she said, I like your sparkly suit. And he said, great, you can watch me drive away in it, which I thought was great, but she is deranged.
I cannot imagine. Again, I don't mean to always bring it back to myself, but this is how I relate. I've planned a wedding, and throughout the whole wedding planning process, I was racked with like pre-guilt that I wanted my guests to have the very best experience. Like it was all I could make sure to have happen. The thought of having people waiting for me for that long, I would rather die. Like, where is your care for other human beings that have shown up on this day for you?
And the fact that she did it before and he talked to her about it and she
Yeah,
didn't learn a lesson. Like, what is wrong with her?
I feel
What
like I've lost all
happened?
my respect for her. Any amount of sympathy or respect for anything for her this whole time is just gone now.
Because even when she was ready to go, she spent time twirling in the mirror,
Yeah, just fucking
admiring
around.
her dress that I thought, I mean,
That dress, that dress was crazy. Can we just take a minute? Like that dress was see-through. She was wearing white, bright white panties, not even flesh colored panties that would blend into the dress. So you look and it's like nude, nude, nude all the way down with like glaring white panties in the middle. Did you forget to get the nude Spanx for that?
it was as if Giovanni made a swimsuit cover up.
Yeah,
And I couldn't help but wonder, yeah, is it meant to have a slip under that she just didn't get the memo about?
it was not great.
If I were him, I would be done.
Me too.
Because I can't live my life waiting for you for 2 hours. If you can't be ready on time for the most important day of our lives,
She said, I think she takes 5 hours to get ready.
Well, then start getting ready earlier. She said she gave herself plenty of time. That's why I'm confused what happened.
Me too. Me
They
too.
better, like, she better explain herself in the next episode.
I don't know what the explanation is because I mean I feel like we saw it all unravel and it just seemed incredibly self-centered.
They were still standing there, like, when dinner was supposed to be served.
Can you imagine?
These people didn't have water. Like, they're gonna die out there. The dog definitely could have died.
Sonoma gets hot.
His old mother who's 80 something with
Who
a
busted her
possibly
hip?
broken hip. She looks pretty good for 80 something, I gotta say.
But people do die from falls like that at that age. It's like all downhill after that. It's like what
And
sets
heat
them on a
stroke at that
trajectory.
age.
Yeah, it's bad. I've really done a 180 on Aaliyah.
I could not believe.
Some more
Anyway,
drama, not a lot or like a long duration of drama, but Mark and Mina had some pretty sad news
devastating.
that Clayton cannot come to the wedding.
Her
And
son,
they left us on a cliffhanger that she has to tell in the news, which is brutal.
her own son can't come to her wedding because they didn't figure out the visa in time. And
And
he
she,
had already packed his belongings.
and she's now
That visual,
agonizing.
yeah, I was agonizing.
Like, do you think she'll get married? She really seems understandably torn up about it. Like, how do
I
you get married without your kid there?
I think she'll do it because she has to, but if I were her, I mean, I don't know why they couldn't find out until like the day before.
I think what happened, if I recall correctly, is that they didn't realize his passport was expired until she had already gotten the K1. And so they
But then,
tried to fast
so they
track
were
it.
working on it, but like
it.
if I were her, I would say I want to do like just a simple courthouse thing and we'll do a ceremony later.
I think that would be the move for me too. But they're already like, they're literally signing the paperwork on final payments for this wedding as she gets this call. So I don't know how you do that at this point.
One of them, did you see one of them had the check open? Mark and Mina. So their venue was amazing. Is
Mhm.
amazing. I loved it. The food total, it said food total, 8,000. And then the beverage total was almost 7,000 for an open bar.
Mhm.
Does that seem right?
I'm doing some quick math.
I think they said 85 guests, maybe. 8 plus 7 is 15 grand.
If they had 85 guests, that's actually really cheap for food because typically it's 150 a head, which would make 53 guests. So that's a really good deal on food.
They might have
Um,
had less, I'm not sure.
it's not a great deal on booze, but it depends on how you get it because like we supplied our own alcohol and just hired in a bartender and like doing it that way and buying all the alcohol from like Costco, we only spent like $1,500 on it and we had 90 people at the wedding.
Well, that's also because you banned people from drinking hard alcohol.
Well, I didn't ban them. I just made them wait until like 9 p.m. to start taking shots because I wanted people functional for the main events. So sue me, okay? We had leftover alcohol after. I regret it, whatever. The point is, there are other ways. That's not the only way to go about having your bar. Like what they might have done was set a liquor cap at what was it, 8,000, 7,000 for the night. So whenever the bar tab reaches that, they'll close it, which going that way tends to be more expensive
I mean, it
because
was a very specific number. It was like 7,000 something, something,
so they
something.
probably had an estimate of how much they wanted per guest and then that's their cap of the bar tab and it'll shut down after that is my guess. Or maybe they do it differently there than all of the venues that I toured. They just like have they had the venue has calculated an estimate for what they think that amount of people will cost and you pay that flat
Hmm.
rate and it's open all night. That's possible too.
Yeah.
If that's the case, it's still kind of steep.
Well, it was a beautiful, beautiful venue.
Really
Goodness
pretty. But I
gracious.
think they're like in New Hampshire, so I don't think that their stuff should really be that expensive. Like I was looking at venues in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But all this to say, they spent a lot of money, and if they have to cancel, I think that she should have planned a courthouse wedding just to be safe.
I
And
agree.
then not even start planning the real wedding until Clayton got there.
Fully agree.
Like that was a bad move on her part. I don't think she's Jasmine level bad mom leaving her kid behind.
No, no, no. I think she really had the best of intentions, and I think she is truly devastated and might I can see her not doing it without him there.
Even though I did think that Jasmine was truly devastated to leave her sons behind as well.
We were duped.
I don't think she's looked in the rear view in over a year.
Nope. She'll never see those kids again.
I wonder if she even calls them anymore.
Who can say?
Devastating for Fiancé and the other one,
JC.
JC.
Did anything else even happen with Mark and Mina?
I don't think
I
so.
think
So I
that's
think
kind of
we
it.
should skip to the most heartwarming moment of the season and maybe all of 90 Day Fiancé.
That's bold.
Do you disagree, Greg and Joan?
It was very, very sweet. It was
He
very
booked her that
sweet.
romantic house on the water. He looked for African attire for her and he
It
couldn't
was
get
really
Ugandan, but he
sweet.
got Nigerian, which was a great effort. He
Really
got all the
good.
food. I mean, if he put that much effort into his wedding invitations or keeping a job, he'd be very successful.
And I was relieved when we discovered that his grave error was putting the arrival time as the same time as the ceremony time in the grand scheme of things. That's I thought the man lost his job.
I was gonna ask what would upset you more if your man lost his job or put the wrong uh
Lost his job. Lost
time
his job.
down.
But my husband never would have had the opportunity because I am a control freak. So
Yeah.
nobody had their hands on those invitations but me.
I mean, he has natural slacker tendencies and he's working very hard to overcome them.
And when he was beating himself up in the confessional and started to tear up, my heart broke for him. I was like, oh my God, Greg, you're everything to me now. I'll eat your
I know.
sourdough.
I think, Jessica needs to take note because he's trying to make an effort with her culture.
He really tried. Just the fact that he was so disappointed in himself for that small error, which is not that serious of an error. Like,
Like
I
if
was
you think
so
about it, if the wedding
touched.
has to start half an hour late, look at what's happening in Sonoma with Sean and Aaliyah an hour and a
Straight
half
up.
late.
Straight up. Yeah, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, just kick it all back 30 minutes. Who cares? Most weddings start 30 minutes late anyway. Like,
Yeah.
whatever. That was a
But
non-issue.
but he just wants to try so hard and this came on the heels of all of that beautiful stuff he did for her, hiring the dancers.
I
She said it
really,
was the best day ever. My heart has never been more full, except maybe watching The Golden Bachelor or Love on the Spectrum.
yeah, my heart soared.
My heart
I
soared.
I loved it. I loved it. And the other thing that I noticed during that scene where they were, freaking out about the timing was that Miss Lucille's lipstick will not stay in place.
Oh, I've been noticing that since
That
episode
lipstick
one.
is always on the move.
That lipstick has a mind of its own. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. We should start like tracking it. Where was her lipstick today?
Tracking
Oh,
where
it
it
was on the left
travels.
corner. It was on the left side. Tracking its travels.
Yeah.
I hope that she can keep it in line for the wedding.
Did she say something borderline offensive about Joan's dress?
No, she said she looks beautiful.
I know, but I think she also said, I'd
Oh, she
rather
just
see her
said,
in a
yeah,
traditional
she
wedding
did say
dress.
she'd rather see them in traditional
And I was like,
outfits.
ooh,
She said, I'd rather see him in a traditional suit, but Joan looked beautiful,
okay.
which I
Still,
think was better. I think my only note on this whole grand gesture that I just loved, if I had one note, it would be he should have done all this at the wedding, like have them change clothes at the reception halfway through, had some of the food, the Ugandan food at the wedding, and had the dancers, the African dancers at the wedding.
it's possible that he wouldn't have been able to surprise her. Maybe she's been more involved in the planning with the wedding.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think he obviously had control of the invitations. I think he was able to surprise her with all of this.
I don't know. I'm a fan of making the night before fun and memorable also. It's just extending the fun. I liked it.
Okay, well then we can agree to disagree on
And
that
I,
one.
I also wonder if it takes some pressure off of the main night. Like you set it up for more success by having this like really fun, successful, cool night before. It's like really good vibes, relaxed going into the next day.
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah, it just like reaffirms her love. She said it was her dream come true and she could not wait to have kids with him.
I loved it. I thought it
So
was
you're right,
great.
it like sets the tone. It sets the energy level at top
Yeah.
notch.
Yeah. I loved it. Who else was on that show? Did we actually catch everybody this week?
I think we did, but I thought that last week also.
Who can say?
So if we missed anyone, we're just trying our best, trying our best.
So quick update on 90 Day
Oh yeah.
in Paradise, Hunt for Love. It's really good. I do recommend watching it.
Oh man, another
It's
thing.
unhinged. It's unhinged.
I just don't know if I can watch that much of Rob.
Well, I'm attracted to Rob, so I don't have the same affliction.
So can you tell me what's happening? Is Chantal a lesbian now?
She's not sure. She had one kiss with a friend and thinks that perhaps it makes her a full lesbian now. So, it
It's a
takes her a while
journey.
to
Yeah.
process things,
That's a journey that she has to figure out on her own.
but she's still attracted to men. So she's figuring it out. So that's interesting. There's a woman on there who's one of the civilians who is like James from Love Hotel level nuts. So that's really fun to watch. Colty is starting to have feelings for Courtney, our resident Elkie. Sorry if that's offensive. But she likes Usman, so they're kind of like both vying for her affection, which is
I
which
did
is
see that he
interesting.
was singing a song to another woman and she seemed to be getting jealous.
Here's how it went. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Insert name here.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's like about his level of song.
Yeah. All in all, it's just a fun watch. It just goes down easy. If you find some time, I do recommend watching that. But I did also watch the first episode of Sirens.
Was it good? I haven't
Oh,
watched
I'm
yet.
in. I'm in. I haven't had enough to. So we're flying this weekend. The reason we're recording early is because our grandma's turning 90, so we get to go to her birthday party.
Woo, woo.
Yay, have HBD grandma. But I think I'm gonna download some of the episodes for the plane.
Okay, I'll
And
do the same. There's
yeah.
5 episodes only.
Oh, well, I think I'll get through them all then.
I'm sure you will.
So it's really interesting.
Okay.
And something about Julianne Moore's, like, obviously not everything is revealed in the first episode. Like it just opens a lot of questions, but her character from the first episode, I'm just fascinated. Tell me more about
You're
this.
selling it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait until the plane ride to start watching.
It's good.
But I do have 5 more episodes of Mormon Wives I'd like to watch.
Yeah.
I'll download
When
those
you get to
too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once I get through Sirens, I haven't yet started this season of Hacks. So I need to, like I said, hockey playoffs, but the Stanley Cup finals are this week. So then
Praise
mercifully
be.
we'll be out of this hellhole. No offense.
I
Now that
mean,
that's done, we'll pick back up Hacks and we'll pick back up Righteous Gemstones because we're really behind.
okay, well, I will tell you that I finished both, and one was amazing and one was terrible.
I think
And
I
I'm
know
sure
how
you
you
can
feel.
guess which
Yeah, I
ones.
think I got it. But I have
Hacks
to
is the best
finish
show on television, the best show on television,
the
the best show on
best show
television.
on television. That is a bold statement. So you think this season was the best?
It is a comedy, but it also makes you feel everything. It's not like the Bear comedy where you
Ugh,
just
that's
have
not a
feelings.
comedy.
You have laughs and feelings at an even level. It's just
Okay.
it's phenom. It's phenom, and it's always been. That's the thing. It's like you can count on it. You can rely on Hacks being good. And then also, if you have any spare time, I don't think you've gotten past season 1 of Love on the Spectrum.
I actually am I think almost done with season 2.
Oh, great. Okay.
That's a heartwarming watch. Nothing but joy. So simple. It just makes everything so simple and easy. And it's just like I feel like this time is a very shitty time, especially here in America. And most people are looking for something that isn't anything like that. And this show is just it's kind of like when we watched Ted Lasso season 1, like
Mhm.
just joy.
Yeah, like this came out years ago,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, because there's 3 seasons, but I'm glad it didn't find me till right now.
We needed it now. And they have UK that we can
Oh
somehow
yeah,
find
and I
and
think they have
watch.
something else too.
Um, we
It's amazing. And even
it's
when things go wrong, like if the date doesn't go very well, it's still you leave happy. It's
still
still
okay.
uplifting.
Yeah.
Somehow upbeat.
Somehow upbeat. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, classic movie. We also got a trailer for The Gilded Age for those of us who watched that. That's back June 22nd. I cannot wait. I know mom's gonna watch it with me. Grandma's gonna watch it. We're very excited. Anybody else who's like a Downton Abbey fan, definitely recommend Gilded Age.
Or a
He's
Carrie Coon fan if you like her in
Carrie
White Lotus.
Coon,
Cynthia
Cynthia
Nix,
Nixon in a very different role.
Meryl Streep's daughter.
Yep. Christine Baranski, is that her last name?
Is she in that?
Yeah.
She's in 9 Perfect Strangers, the new season too.
We didn't need that. Nobody asked for that.
I know, but I still might do it because I hate myself.
Well, I would ask you if you're going to rot this weekend, but I'm going to see you on Saturday.
I'm so excited. I'm gonna pick you up and spin you around.
Please don't. Well, we won't be rotting because we'll be too busy celebrating Gma.
HBD, happy belated. It was a while ago,
HBD,
but
but we get to celebrate. And then the following week, I'll be in Austin for a work event. So we might take to the mic a little late, but we should be okay. But just in case things go awry. And if any of our 2 listeners have recommendations for things to do, a fun place to eat in Austin, please let me know. We're looking for restaurants.
Or things to watch, because clearly we don't have enough on our plates.
I do want to say thank you to the fans because we got 50 downloads. We've surpassed 50 downloads, 50.
That's kind of scary.
So that's amazing. Thanks, everyone.
I gotta up my game. I feel like I need to bring more energy. I feel like my voice is very monotone. So maybe I should start talking like this.
Please don't. Oh, God. No, they like us for us.
I'll practice
Oh,
being
God.
more animated.
Yikes. Okay.
Until next time, thank you for rotting with us.
Yikes. Thanks for rotting with us. See you next week.